Once we got on the Chuck Keiper Trail, it has been one fresh hell after another. Hey everybody, John here. It's another beautiful day in Pennsylvania. It's a tad warm for my taste, but you know, it's maybe about 80 degrees. I prefer cooler temps, but you know. So we're in the Sproul State Forest, and as you can see, I've got some stuff kind of laying around here as I prepare to do my final packing for our adventure, which is an overnighter. We're right here, and there is a scenic vista, which is down that trail right there. And well, I'll tell you more about what we're doing later, but basically it's a loop. It's two loops really kind of joined together, and we want to start by going this way, but I can't figure out where that trail is that goes that way. I only see a trail that goes this way, which appears to be that one right there, and maybe you got to go down there and it splits, and there's a trail that goes off to the right here, which will take us back close to the road that we drove in on and around this way. And that says Rock Springs 2, so we'll see if we can find that. But anyway, we want to head that direction first, and as you can see, the wind is blowing, so we'll get back to the full details later. Okay, ready or not, here I go. So I did a little recon down here. I walked down this path a ways and saw that it does split into two. It does fork, and I guess we want the trail to the right. So I have to say I'm not 100% confident that that's the right way to go. But what I'm seeing on the map doesn't, I haven't reconciled it with what I'm seeing out here just yet. But worst case scenario is we have to backtrack and then just walk along the road down to where we know we want to be. So this is a trail. I mean, this doesn't look like an administrative road to me, but at some point we should be walking along something that looks more like a road. So we'll see how it goes. That could be it, just kind of splitting off to the right here. So I think, according to the sign up there for this Two Rock Run scenic viewing area, there are two trails that go down to overlooks. So this just might be one of those, yeah. Looks like this just dead ends right here. But that's okay, let's take a look at the overlook. Check out the sign first, and you can pause if you want to read that. Hopefully I get it all in view. All right, so we'll watch out for the short-eared owl, the prairie warbler, chestnut-sided warbler with a yellow head, and that almost looks like black and purple coloring in the picture. Here's an eastern towhee, or towhee. Looks like it has some red and even kind of rose-colored and even pink feathers. That would be pretty cool. Anyway, here's the vista. So this isn't the trail we want. It looks like maybe what we see going off to the side here is what we want. Not a proper trail, but I mean, it looks a little bit like a trail. So we can follow it back here and see what we see. A bit overgrown as trails go, but I mean, it kind of looks like it was cleared. I mean, you can follow it back here. kind of hate to walk in these tall grasses. I mean, we are permethrinated, so we are protected against ticks, at least somewhat. And okay, I see a marker up here, red diamond, and like an orange marker that often indicates a snowmobile trail. Yeah, I really don't like walking in this. Yeah, these are the tall grasses continue. Yeah, so we'll compare this against the map, but I really don't like this. I think let's just turn back and let's walk along the road until we get to a proper trail. So, of course, once again, everything I'm wearing is treated with permethrin, including the bandana, which, you know, it's not recommended that you spray headgear with permethrin, so you can make your own choice about that. I decided not a big deal. Okay, yeah, see, there's a diamond down there, kind of red or orange, and so that's probably, you know, indicates part of a snowmobile trail. I'm a little worried that we're gonna have to take the snowmobile trail to get to finish the loop that we have in mind, and I don't want to have to hike up through that stuff, so we may have to change our plan. On the map it's indicated as, you know, a shared use trail for snowmobiling and hiking and horseback riding too, I believe, but I don't want to hike through that mess. So we're back on this path. This is a map of the Chuck Keiper Trail system in Sproul State Forest. The Chuck Keiper Trail is a loop of about 64 miles, I think, and so we'll be doing a portion of Chuck Keiper. But we're parked here. The idea was we were going to hike along here, this administrative road, down to here, and then go up Eddy Lick Trail like this. And the idea is we're going to complete the Yost Run Trail Loop and the Eddy Lick Trail Loop. That's what we had in mind. But now it's looking to me like when we come around here, and I was intending to come up this snowmobile trail, but if the snowmobile trail is what we were just on, and it's all grassy like that, and have to deal with that, I think I might just want to instead walk along this road to come back to the car. So I would say we're not parked in the ideal spot. If it looks, you know, if we've got to do, we may just skip this mess right here and instead just walk along the road all the way back here to Eddy Lick Trail. So we got some road walking to do. Well, here we are walking along Pennsylvania State Road 144. Several different kinds of butterflies are out and very active. We're at about 2,200 feet elevation, and we should remain at that level for 3 or 4 miles before we start to descend. And that's pretty nice, because we can start off with a fairly mild, you know, stroll to begin with. That is marked as Lewis Camp Trail. I do not recall seeing that on the map. But you can see it's also a road that goes back there. Perhaps goes to a hunting camp that is not indicated on the map. I'm feeling a few little sprinkles here and there. And as you can see, the sky is not entirely clear. Not too worried about it. The forecast, which I forgot to look at this morning, but what I saw yesterday indicated that any significant chance of rain should be done by afternoon. And then there's a possibility of a little bit of rain overnight or in the morning. At any given time, it's like a 30 or 40% chance. So we could get a little bit. High today, I think 82, and high tomorrow 83. And I expect we'll be done by the time it gets up to 83. Doing something a little different today. I have some moleskin padding, a little square of moleskin padding stuck on each foot, on the ball of the foot, just below the big toe. Now, I'm not prone to blisters, but I got some blisters when I did the overnighter on the Donut Hole Trail and had to do what I called the V twice, going out and coming back. A ridiculous, very steep ravine that you have to descend into and then go right back up the other side. Super steep. So I ended up with blisters on that outing in those two spots. And then also on the Girard Trail, by the third day, I had blisters in those two spots. Not terrible, you know, I don't get them too bad, even when I get them. But it's rare that I get them at all. But I figured, I just hiked 2 days ago and did about 9 miles. And now, today and tomorrow, total around 17 miles, I think. So I thought I would just try a little preventive measure there with the moleskin. Okay, that was about 30 minutes of road walking. Finally, we come to the Eddy Lick Trail. Now, we had intended to come up from there to take that administrative road down to where it meets this, and then come up this way. And it would have taken longer to do that. And since we're not convinced we found the administrative road in the first place, and if we did, it was like a very overgrown snowmobile trail, we said nix to that. So here is where we want to be now. And the plan is to first complete what's called the Eddy Lick Trail Loop, I think. Or, no, wait a minute. No, actually that's... first we complete the Yost Run Trail Loop, and then after that, the Eddy Lick Trail Loop. But we're making some modifications. Yeah, so the Donut Hole Trail, do I still want to through hike that thing? 94 miles? Well, I'm still kind of fascinated by it, but I don't think that is a through hike that is going to take place very soon. Not this year, probably not next summer either, because I think I'd really have to build up to it. So far, you know, my longest outing is 3 days on the Girard Trail, right? 3 days, 2 nights. To jump to the Donut Hole Trail, which is a very demanding trail. It's probably more demanding than the Girard Trail was, and it would take me 5 to 7 days. I think probably closer to 7 with my ability level at this point. That's quite a jump, and especially doing it solo. I don't know. If there were somebody who wanted to do it, you know, with me, and was more experienced, sure, I would I would go for it. But otherwise, I think it's going to be a while before I do a trail that long. This would be a good spot for rattlesnakes right here. Keep our eyes peeled. We're on very high ground, right? It's about 2,200 feet elevation, you know, which is about the maximum in this area here. And so, you know, got a bit of a clearing here. Lots of sun on this road. The road is all rocky and sandy and warm. So that would be a great place for a rattlesnake to come and stretch itself out, trying to warm itself up. Why do they do that? Well, a rattlesnake is a cold-blooded animal, meaning that it cannot use its internal body metabolism to regulate its body heat. It has to rely on the environment to do that. So, if it needs to warm up, it can bask in the sun. If it needs to cool down, it can, you know, seek a cooler environment. And so it is with cold-blooded animals. We are warm-blooded animals, meaning that we use our internal metabolism to our body metabolism to sort of maintain our core temperature. And therefore we can cool ourselves down when, like when I'm standing in the sun here. I can sweat, right, in other ways that I can bring my body temperature down. And I can also warm myself up if it's cold by shivering and, being active to generate internal heat and so forth. The cost of being warm-blooded is that you need more of a caloric intake. You need to eat more and eat more often, whereas a cold-blooded animal can often go long periods of time without eating because it's not relying so much on those calories to regulate its temperature. So, dem's the basics on cold-blooded and warm-blooded animals. And you probably learned that in biology in school anyway, right? And if you didn't, why not? What kind of school did you go to that did not teach you basic things about the world? Now, of course, there's always, a lot of that stuff. If it doesn't interest us, we don't really remember, and, there's no judgment there. I mean, not all of us are interested in everything. It takes all kinds to make a world, right? All right, so as far as I know, we're still on the Eddy Lick Trail here and seeking the intersection with the Chuck Keiper Trail. We should be able to tell by the blazes when we come to it. Now, this tree up here, it looks like it's got a kind of a goldenrod blaze, or the remnants of one right there. Does that look like an old blaze? Speaking of rattlesnakes, if they sense that you're approaching, I don't know if they hear you or if they feel the ground, vibrations in the ground, or what, but they will warn you by shaking their rattler, which is basically saying, hey, don't come any closer. And if you obey that, it should be okay. They're not going to go out of their way to get to you and bite you. They're not, they're only going to bite you if they feel threatened. So if you can manage to avoid making yourself a threat, you'll be fine. And what do we got up there? It looks like some kind of a shed. I thought maybe I saw a big old stack of wood. That could be another hunting camp. I guess if you're driving back to these, you need four-wheel drive. Oh yeah, it looks like we got a whole bunch of wood there. And a wooden rocking chair. The white sign there says Eddy Lick Trail. Looks like we have several signs here. Alright, let's see. Second Fork, Yost Run. Yost Run Loop. Plantation Trail, Burns Run, CKT. I don't know what that is. To the right. And there's an orange blaze. So I think we have hit the Chuck Keiper Trail now. And then to the left, Yost Run, CKT. CKT, Chuck Keiper Trail. Yeah, okay. All right. So we made it. And we want to go over there somewhere. It looks like back through there. Crystal Spring Hunting Club. Okay. We got a nice swing. We could sit in the shade there. Take advantage of that swing for a moment. And then this says West Sample Street. Town of Glastonbury, Connecticut. Incorporated May 8, 1690. Well, that's interesting. I didn't expect to learn that in the middle of Pennsylvania. And then an outhouse over there, probably locked. Took us about a half hour to walk along the road from there to here, where we then met up with the Eddy Lick Trail. taken us about 40 minutes to get to the junction with the Chuck Keiper Trail. That's where we are now. So what do you reckon this stretch will take? When we get down to here, we'll be in the valley of Yost Run. We have to descend about 1,000 feet. Okay, so we're about to start going down. About 1,000 feet down into the, possibly more, looks like maybe, so that's 1,200 right there. When we get down to the water level, that might be 1,000. So what do you think? Takes us about an hour to do that, maybe? Yost Run is a creek that goes this way. You can see it, it looks like it begins up here. The road is on pretty high ground there, running along a ridge. So the waters of Yost Run start here, and they continue next to the trail for quite a distance, and then go out that way and empty into the Susquehanna River. If today we manage to walk all the way up here, we will have ascended maybe just, well, I mean, by the time we get back up here, we're where we are now, around 2,200 feet. So from here to here, we got to go down 1,000 to 1,200 feet, and then ascend that same amount, getting back up to here. Will we get up to here today? I don't really know. You know, we'll see how it goes. I had kind of envisioned, you know, the possibility of camping along Yost Run somewhere on this stretch of trail. But if it's really early and we decide we want to go ahead and come back up to the plateau and then head down this way and camp along Eddy Lick Run someplace, you know, maybe we'll do that. The whole sort of double loop that we're doing, figure eight, kind of like a figure eight, but not like this, but instead like this. The whole thing is about 17 miles. We started a little after noon. I mean, I guess we really got started about 12:30 because we had kind of a false start there. So yeah, I can't do 17 miles before the sun goes down. So we'll be camping. All right, it's 1:51 and we're leaving the camp here. Appreciate the use of the little porch swing deal there. It looks like you might be able to get spring water from this hose when it's flowing, but it's dry as a bone right now. You can see there's this hose goes back to that pipe right there, and the pipe runs underground to the spring, obviously. We haven't had a whole lot of rain recently, so I guess, and you know, we're at high elevation, so I guess there's just not enough groundwater here to be producing any flow from the spring. Otherwise, it'd be an excellent place to fill up. And is this right? Holy cow. I mean, this looks like where we should go, right? But it's pretty thick back here. Let's see. Be looking for an orange blaze. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. Wait a minute. I don't know about this. Is that a blaze on that tree there? A faded one? Yeah, it is. But is the trail... I mean, sometimes they reroute. This is awfully thick here. I mean, it might be right. But let's just go up here and see if there's another outlet. Let's see. There's a blaze on that pole right there. which I think is, oh, and then there's a blaze on the side of the woodshed there. And I mean, that definitely looks like an opening. It's just that it immediately gets so thick. I wanted something like that, you know? But yeah, there's no other outlet. Ugh. Okay. It's looking like our only choice is back into the jungle. Wow. Don't like that. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. Nice fire pit there. And it's very rocky too, so that doesn't help. Back through this mess. Oh man, there's a spider web right there. And there's an orange blaze. I was prepared for a descent, which is coming up, but I wasn't prepared for this. Look at that. You gotta be kidding me. All right, that looks like maybe it'll clear up just a little bit here. Okay, this is more like it. Man. Definitely got to watch out for rocks through here, because some of these are kind of, you know, they're shaded and it might have rained here this morning. They're slippery. And I hate walking through that kind of stuff knee high in it because of ticks. But, you know, once again, we have done our best in the way of tick protection, with everything being permethronated. All my clothing and my boots included, even the bandana and my backpack. And even my tent and tarp have been sprayed. Well, it's kind of buggy through here. And guess what? I did bring the bug net and the hat with the brim. And we'll see how it goes. But for now, I think I'm okay. But if it gets bad, I am prepared. So we gotta watch out for all these slippery rocks under here. Could encounter one at any time. Oh, all right. We came from up there, and now we have switched back this way. Where are we going though? I think maybe down there and along that creek, because the other side is just a sheer bluff. So we've been walking up along the opposite bluff here, and it's been a gradual descent. Hasn't been too bad. I'm just glad I wasn't going up it. And I had to take it slow because of all the rocks in the trail. The quality of the trail is reminding me a little bit of in the Adirondacks, trying to get up to Hedgehog Mountain and probably failing to summit, right? But it's been, you know, just constant downhill there, but again, pretty gradual. So I've been thankful for that. So I guess I'm glad that today it looks like we're not getting a lot of climbing, but it means we'll have to do it tomorrow, right? Because it may not be true with gravity, but it's certainly true in hiking. What goes down must come up.